Hey everybody, welcome to the July update. It's been half a year, but I wanted to give you updates since the last episode back in 204 about what I've been working on and how things are going. So WWDC has come and gone, and the one app I'm working on that is heavily into the foundation model stuff is my app Celestra. I started building it after last year's dub and really haven't picked it back up because I just wasn't really satisfied with the suggestions I was getting. It's a RSS reader, and one of the key parts about it is suggesting RSS feeds. It tended to be very repetitive about what it suggested. I'm gonna go through that again and see what I can do to improve that now that we have a lot more tools in foundation models and core AI and all of those APIs. I want an app that somebody who's a novice when it comes to RSS can pick it up and start reading articles from feeds that they don't even know about. There's a few things with VM stuff and virtualization I want to pick up with Bushel and some new stuff with workouts, but otherwise, yeah, Celestra is going to be the main focus as far as things I'm going to do that involve WWDC. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I can get that test flight done eventually. We'll see. Swift build. Swift build is my open source GitHub action for building Swift packages on multiple operating systems and platforms. I've recently done some fixes to the way the caching works, added support for nightly Swift versions. So if you want to go on Ubuntu and build it for what is currently nightly is 6.4, which will be coming out probably sometime in September or October. So you can start building off of beta versions of Swift 6.4. With auto-calculating Xcode schemes, you had to put in the scheme for building a Swift package. You don't have to do that anymore. It'll automatically calculate it. If you're doing anything Swift packages and you want to test it on Wasm or Android or Windows, definitely check that out. It's pretty solid there. The big app I've been working on lately has been AtLeast. AtLeast is what I like to call a reverse timer. It's for folks who do meditations or exercises, don't want to be notified when the timer has gone off. They want to be notified when to keep going and when not to keep going. For instance, I like to just have a breathing exercise that I do. I'll do it. I'll say I want to do it for at least 5 minutes. I don't want to have the buzzer to go off at 5 minutes. I just want to know that I need to keep going. And the way I do that is I use haptics. So it taps your wrist when to keep going every minute or so. And once it stops tapping you, you know you've met that minimum time and it can either stop or just keep going if you want to. The big feature I'm working on is iPhone to Apple Watch communication. I've been doing that a lot. What I've ended up building is a new package and a new product called Sundial Kit Context. If you know anything about my suite of libraries when it comes to Sundial Kit, they're especially for iPhone to Apple Watch communication as well as network awareness. Sundial Kit Context has really improved the experience as far as communicating between watch and phone. It does a lot of stuff with revisions, stale windows, and things like that. So that way it's a much more cleaner experience. So now you can go on the phone, you could pick your minimum time, the watch will update, and then you just tap start on the watch to begin. Eventually, I'll be adding stuff like being able to do the timer with just the phone or being able to use the HealthKit workout API to just be able to start the timer right on the phone itself. But for now, that's what will be coming out in the next beta. And then after that, I'm going to really work on haptics. I've had some feedback about haptics being too subtle, so be on the lookout for that as well. The other big project I've been working on is updating the website. It shouldn't look any different, but behind the scenes, I'm working on doing a major upgrade. It uses Publish by Johnson Dill, a fantastic library, but I'm in the process of upgrading it. I
It's
created
been
a
a
fork,
while,
and
so
then I'm
I've ended
upgrading
up
it, and
forking
then I'm
that,
removing
and
a lot of
I'm moving a
third-party
lot of
libraries in
code
favor of first-party
away
ones, for
from
instance.
third-party
So
libraries to more first-party
migrating from
libraries. So,
shellout to
for instance, like
subprocess,
shellout for running
ink
commands,
to
I'm moving
Swift
that to
Markdown, and things
subprocess,
like that.
which is the
A lot
new
of upgrades
Apple
to my
Swift
own open
library
source
for
libraries. I'm
doing
trying to upgrade to
processes on different
Swift
devices.
6.4,
And then
which is still obviously in
I
beta,
moved
or
to
Swift
from ink to
6.3,
Swift
and
Markdown for
I'm working
writing
on that.
Markdown, and
it's been working pretty smoothly. The next step, I'm gonna try to see if I can work with the Swift node interrupt stuff there to get npm to work. So you want to run like a node module or like some sort of post processing stuff with node, you can do that as well. I currently do that with a website with Tailwind. Yeah, you can check out the brightdigit.com repo. It's open source. I'll put a link in the show notes. So be on the lookout for that. The big thing that I've been doing lately is work on open source libraries within certain products. So brightdigit.com, AtLeast, and some of the other work I've been doing, I do I use what's called a git-subrepo. So you probably heard of submodules and a few other ways of working on multiple repos at the same time. Ben Sherman got me into git-subrepo, so you can check that out. And what is really great about it is it works. It's like a lot better than some modules. And so what I'll have is like a directory of packages, and each will have been a subrepo clone. Subrepo has its set of commands to do up pulls and pushes and dealing with that. And sometimes I run into conflicts. Thankfully, we live in an AI assisted age that can help with that. I use local packages to refer to other dependencies. So you could check out brightdigit.com for an example of how I do that. If this is a topic you're interested in and want to hear more about, let me know. I'd love to talk about how I can develop, say, a closed source product with open source packages or multiple open source Swift packages at the same time using subrepo. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. Before I go, I wanted to let you know I'm still available for consultation. If you need help with Swift automation, AI assisted development, or just career coaching, you can reach out to me on my Zcal link and just reserve a spot. And I'd love to see what I can do to help you. I've had some really great meetings with some awesome developers who are just wanting to know what's the next steps in their career. So check that out. And I can't go without saying thank you to my Patreon supporters like Steve Lipton. Thank you so much. It's been providing me a lot of the momentum that I need to keep going. I highly recommend joining our Patreon. Episodes come out early. There's a lot of exclusives as far as things I'm working on and stuff like that. I'll be posting the episode for Donnie pretty soon. And then I'll be doing an interview with Salim, who is basically the person behind Swift for Windows. So I'll be setting up a Windows box sometime in the next week so I can play around with that before I talk to him. Subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay up to date, subscribe to the podcast. And if you like this, like as well, or post a review in your favorite podcast player. Yeah, that's about it. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.